self.
Yeah.
My experience has been people attend seminars, especially self-development seminars, to look for the answer. They want to know, what is it out there I can learn so that I can be more successful? That wasn't your motivation?
No, oddly enough. And I think probably you're right. I think that's what most people are looking for. I think they're looking for an answer outside of themselves, and they're never going to find it. I think by this time I realized it was something in me. I met a man here in Toronto. He was one that originally got me involved in studying this, Ray Stanford. And he told me if I didn't like the results I was getting in my life, that I was going to have to change me because they were my results. And he said, if you're going to change you, you're going to have to find out something about yourself. And that seemed to make sense. I don't think it was an earth-shattering idea. It wouldn't give anybody a brain hernia, but it made a hell of a lot of sense to me. So I started to study myself. I found most people don't know who they are. They really don't.
What do you mean? I mean, I know my name, I know my age, I know where I live.
That's not
what
you,
else
though.
is
That's just
size,
it. If you ask the average person who they are, they'll give you their name. They'll say, I'm Bob Proctor, but I'm not. Bob and Proctor are two words. My parents give them to me. They're called names, but it's not me. It's my name. Then somebody will say, well, this is me, but this isn't me either. It's my body. Like, you never phone down here to the studio and say, body won't be in today. It's sick.
Okay.
We don't say am hand or am leg. It's my hand, my leg, my body, my name. Who am I? Well, that's an interesting question. And I believe if a person will start to study that and look for the answer, they'll find it. See, I think we live simultaneously on three planes of understanding. We're spiritual creatures, we have an intellect, and we live in physical bodies.
Okay.
But because we lack awareness or understanding of who we are, we're totally locked into a physical world, and we let things outside of us control us. 95% of the population are reacting to life. They're not really living at all.
Okay. And would you call that one of the barriers to success?
Oh, there's no question about it. I think there's two barriers. Success is a funny word. Nightingale had a great definition for it. He said a person's successful if they know where they are and they know where they're going and they're progressively moving in that direction. He said that success was the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Anyone that has a goal and they're moving towards it, they're successful. Most people think that you're successful if you have a lot of money. Quite often you have a lot of money if you're successful, but it isn't. I wouldn't say Mother Teresa has a lot of money.
Okay.
But she's a pretty successful lady. So it's
okay. So that barrier to success.
Well, there's a couple of them.
Okay.
I think there's two barriers. One is our conditioning, the conditioning that takes place in our subconscious mind from the time we're infants. All we can do is act and talk like the people around us. That's why we learn the language we learned. If there was 10 languages spoken in our home, we'd learn 10 languages without any trouble. There's usually one, and that's the only one we ever learn. And we grow older and we think, oh, I couldn't learn another language. We could learn 100 if we wanted to. You can do anything. But I think we're conditioned. We have a real strong conditioning, usually with not some very good ideas. And then that's the barrier that's inside us. The one that's outside of us is our environment. We have a tendency to act like everybody around us. And if you think about this, it does make a lot of sense, because if you study statistics, 95% of the people live their entire life and never live the way they want to live. You know that 95% of the population in this country, let's say in North America,
okay,
the richest continent in the history of the world, they'll work productively, let's say for 40 of their 65 years,
okay,
and they'll end up with hardly any money. There's got to be something wrong.
So there's not much.
5% of the people end up financially comfortable or independent.
Are you trying to depress us, Bob? Because that's
No, actually, I think it's quite an exciting idea, because you see, the idea behind it is that anybody can win, anyone at all. But if we start studying these statistics, I think we'll arrive at the conclusion, geez, I better start thinking for myself rather than follow everybody. Most people, they get a job, they look around, they see how everybody else is doing their work, and they start doing it the same way.
Mm-hmm.
They should stop and think, I wonder if any of these people know what they're doing. Is there a better way to do it?
But don't we have a need to fit in? I mean, we don't want to stand out. We don't want to get fired. We don't want to make waves.
Exactly. Just fall into line, take a number, be like everybody around. Now, that'd be great in the animal kingdom. But human beings aren't supposed to live that way. I think we should make a few waves. We should maybe stand out, be different, not for the sake of being different,
okay,
but because we are different. We all think different thoughts. And I believe we should start to think and build images in our mind of what we'd like to do and then set out and do it.
Okay. Let me,
Emerson did that. Edison did that. Marconi did that. Samuel Morse did that. Buckminster Fuller did that. We could go on and on and on.
okay.
They were different. They stood out. They made a few waves.
Okay. You started with you saying you started with a search for yourself to try to find out more about yourself, and you were somewhat successful along the way.
Well, I didn't start it like that in the beginning. I started I wanted to earn a lot of money. I figured if I had enough money, I was going to cure all my problems. I found that that wasn't true. I earned a fair amount of problems or money, and I seemed to have more problems. But I after working at this for a few years, I decided that the real answer is get to know yourself a little better.
Okay.
And I don't think you have to go up in the Himalayas and become a guru to.
Okay. What did you do to learn about yourself? You said you went around as many seminars.
I attended seminars. I went and listened to different speakers who taught something about the mind. I think the answer is in our mind if we'll start studying and trying to understand our mind.
Okay. Let me get back to you if I can. What did you learn about Bob Proctor during that study?
Well, I learned that the biggest part of me you'll never see. It's non-physical. And what you see here in the physical body is nothing but the physical manifestation of the higher side of my personality. And of course, that's true with you. And, Nancy's on the camera. It's true of everyone. And what we have to study, I think, is how does this non-physical part of my mind work? What happens when I think? Where do thoughts come from? How was this chair built? Somebody had to think. Thoughts are everywhere. And we pull thoughts into our mind and we build pictures or images in our mind.
Okay.
What we want to understand is that's a non-physical side of ourselves that's doing that. If I can build an image of something in my mind, I'm quite capable of building a physical replica of it in my world. So if I build an image of me as a happy, relaxed person, I can live like that. If I build an image of myself as being prosperous, I can become prosperous.
So if we think rich, we will be rich.
Absolutely. We're already rich, just short of money.
Okay. Those of us that like to acquire more money and or happiness or whatever we see success, those of us that want to reach the goals that we've set for ourselves, we do it first by...
Well, the first thing you do is sit down and decide what you want. If it's money you want, how much money?
Lots of money.
Well, nobody knows how much lots is.
Okay.
So you've got to be specific.
Okay. You
write down on a card exactly what you want. And you carry that card around and read it often. Now, this is what I learned in this book, Think and Grow Rich. And it's what I teach in the seminars. I'll teach people how to set goals. But you decide exactly what you want. And then you start to think. Now, you're going to have thoughts come to your mind of why you can't get it.
Mm-hmm.
You have the ability in your conscious mind to reject that idea, kick it out of your mind. Thinking of why you can't do something is never going to do you any good. And keep thinking until you start to think of thoughts of how you can do it. And the way will be shown to you. It comes in the form of images in our mind. Think of how you can and not why you can't.
Okay. So our first step is to set
That's the
some
first
goals.
step.
Think about how we can go about reaching those goals.
Exactly. And just think of how you can. Now, I'd say before you get into that, you should get a good book and start to study it. Select a person who is already doing something that you'd like to do. Get to know that person.
Mm-hmm.
Go to the experts for advice. Don't ask the person next door, your mother, father, brother, or the guy that works beside you, because they don't necessarily know. There's no point in asking a person how to earn a lot of money if they're only earning $10,000 a year. They don't know. If they knew, they'd probably be earning a lot. It's like, don't go to a sick doctor if you want to get healthy.
Okay.
So you find someone that you can go to for advice. Get a real good book and lock into that book and start to study it. Like, I've had this one that looks like a Bible, but this is Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. I've been reading this thing now for 23 years. I'll probably read it for another 23 years. I got another good book that I brought over here today. It's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I'm not getting a commission for selling this. The author's dead now. He's been gone for a couple of years. But Dr. Joseph Murphy wrote this book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And that's probably one of the best books that you're ever going to find, because you're going to learn something about your mind when you read this book.
Okay.
Now, I read a lot of books. I've got probably 1,000 books sitting in my den at home in my library. But the one that I carry it everywhere I go, and I read it all the time, is Think and Grow Rich. I never stop reading it.
Where's the value for you to reread that? Read it again? I mean, you must know it well enough that...
I think I could probably recite it verbatim. But
All right. What is going on, everybody? Let me get my camera on for you guys. Whoa. Hey, there we are. Okay, let me pin myself. What's up, IG Live? What's up, YouTube? What's going on? I'm so happy and grateful for every single person who comes on here all the time. Thank you so much. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for you guys tuning in. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so blessed. I'm so happy. So let's start the call as we always do with what we are grateful for. It's another Wednesday. Super happy and grateful for another breath, another day that I woke up. I'm so super happy and grateful to have this platform to be able to speak with you guys and just kind of speak my mind and, you know, give you guys the value that I've learned over the years of studying and mentorship that I've gone through that has really helped me grow into the person that I'm growing every single day into. I'm super happy and grateful for my health, for my wealth, for my happiness. I'm super happy and grateful for my family, for my friends, for my puppy who's over there. I'm super happy and grateful for my vehicle that gets me to where I need to be every single day. I'm super happy and grateful for the knowledge that I'm able to acquire through mentorship, through my peers, through each and every single one of you. I learn something new every single day from each and every one of you. Oops, let me record just in case. Here we go. I'm so super happy and grateful for life. I'm so super happy and grateful for pen and paper that I'm able to take notes. Like literally, I'm so happy and grateful for just everything. What are you guys grateful for? Drop some stuff. What are you guys grateful for? I want to see in the chat box on IG Live. You guys, we cannot receive anything in this life that we want without being I'm grateful for XAU. Yes, I am grateful for gold too. I'm so happy and grateful for the charts, for the everyday opportunities that we have in the markets. If you guys are traders, here we go. Shayna needs to be in the film, obviously. So here we go. I'm grateful for a new day. Thank you for being interactive with me. I hate when I'm just the one talking. I mean, you guys know that I will just talk and talk and talk, but I love when you guys interact with me and, you know, give me a little bit of perspective and maybe even something else to talk about. But if you guys were watching, if you're on IG Live, sorry, you guys didn't get to see the video that I play in the beginning. That's why you have to tune into the Zoom link. I posted it on my story this time. If you guys ever want the Zoom link, just message me. I'll give you the Zoom link. If you're not in my private Telegram channel, you can get into there as well, and you'll get the Zoom link every week. And you could see sometimes I do slideshows and stuff. I'm going to do a slideshow today. So if you're not on Zoom, sorry. If somebody's on Zoom who can like get onto the IG Live and send the link, that would be amazing. But I'm not gonna stop for that. So next time, just message me. Okay, guys. So if you were paying attention to the video, you would see it was Bob Proctor. Now, I praise Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor was one of the first people who I did a real mentorship with. I learned so much about myself. I learned so much about the fact that we are spiritual beings. Thank you, Eddie. The fact that we are spiritual beings having a human experience and what that truly means. And we're going to go over that tonight in that video. It's a longer video. I will drop the link to that video in my Telegram channel. So if you guys aren't in my Telegram channel, I will give that to you guys at the end. It's Journey with Jenna. But Bob talks about who we are, right? And that may seem like something super simple, like, who am I? I'm Jenna. I'm this body. Like, that's who I am. Like, you might start to describe yourself. Like, I have blonde hair. I have brown eyes. Whatever it is. Okay. But who we are is not what we are. And I'm going to explain that. So, as Bob says, and Bob learned from Earl Nightingale and So many amazing people. You guys have to read Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. We live on 3 planes of understanding, right? We are spiritual beings having a human experience, and we have an intellect. We live in a physical body. We have an intellect, a conscious mind, a conscious piece of us. But we are spiritual beings. And Bob gives the example of when you speak about yourself, you don't say, am hand or am body, right? Like you say, my hand, my body. So when you speak like that, that means that is a part of you. Your physical body, your physical hand, your physical eyes, nose, ears, mouth, everything, that is a part of you. So what are you? The majority of you, 95% of you, is a non-physical. And this is a little deep. So for those of you who haven't studied this kind of stuff, like get on that Bob Proctor shit. Go read Think and Grow Rich. One of the best books I've ever read. It's going to help you advance so fast and give you a little bit more insight into what it means to be a spiritual being having a human experience, right? So let me get to my slideshow for you guys. Hold on. And again, sorry for those of you who are on IG. You won't see this unless you click the link that Eddie gave. Thanks, Eddie. Okay. Hold it. I have to reshare. What's up, everybody on IG? Okay. So with that being said, being a spiritual being, having this human experience and having an intellect and being a conscious, like having that conscious thought and the subconscious thought, there are barriers to having success when we don't understand who we are. Let me repeat that. There are barriers to success when we do not understand who we are. How many of you really, truly know who you are? Again, you might know what you do. You might know what you like. You might know who you like, but you don't necessarily know. I don't think any of us truly know, because I can personally say I don't 100% know who I am because I haven't deeply studied myself. In order to find out who it is that you really are, you have to deeply study yourself. And there are many ways to do that, and we can talk about that a little bit later on in the call. But meditating is one of them. Getting really in deep and sitting with yourself for periods of time, whether that's 1 minute to 5 minutes to start, like we talk about this all the time, or going to a quiet place, like maybe a beach or a park, somewhere where maybe you could just put some headphones in and not be distracted and sit with yourself. You'll start to learn a lot about yourself. Being alone can teach you a lot about yourself, right? So the trick to staying in charge, no matter the circumstance, who are you? So here we go. There are 2 barriers to success. 2 barriers to success. I hope you guys have your pens and your papers out, right? If you don't have a pen and a paper out, get your pens and papers out. If not, you can take screenshots of this. Also, it is on YouTube, so you could just go back and rewatch it, or I could send you the recording if you hit me up. According to Bob, my mentor, there are 2 barriers to success in not knowing who you are. Conditioning is the first barrier to success. Conditioning is the first barrier to success. So conditioning is an internal barrier to success. Conditioning is an internal barrier to success. It's what we were taught from the time we were toddlers, from, our parents. And we talk about this a lot, our paradigm, right? A multitude of habits. Where does that come from? The conditioning, what we were taught, what we saw, what we heard, all of the things that came into our mind from a toddler, from outside sources, right? The language that we understand and know. That is your conditioning. If you were taught to speak English in your home, that is what you were conditioned to speak. Majority of us only speak one language because that is what we were conditioned to speak. Some people speak two languages because they were brought up speaking two languages in the home. But it is because of the conditioning that you were under. It is what you were taught. The religion that you may practice. When you were a baby, you didn't have that choice. You were given that information, therefore conditioning you to believe that specific thing, that belief system. That is your internal conditioning. That is where our self-image comes from. And we're going to talk about self-image a little bit too tonight. If you were always taught that, from a young age, like even, Barbies and stuff, like little girls playing with Barbies, like I know now they make like thick size Barbie dolls to represent women who don't have a hourglass, or not even Barbies were like little stick figures with big boobs, right? You or we were conditioned as children playing with these perfect blonde makeup, big boobs, skinny little waist Barbie dolls to believe that that is the norm. So if you didn't look like that, you may or may not have a not so great of a self-image, right? So that is conditioning. It's almost like the Kardashians today. How many young women and men watch reality TV shows like the Kardashians, and you see these perfect bodies, these perfect faces, these perfect lives. And I'm quoting perfect because there's no such thing as perfect. But by the media, we are being conditioned to believe that that is what everyone should look like, perfect, right? So the first barrier to success is conditioning. That is your internal barrier. The second barrier, and this is the external barrier, is environment. And it kind of goes a little bit hand in hand with what I was just segueing into this with, is your outside circumstances, your environment, the people, places, things in your life. We have a tendency to want to act like people around us. Even if you think you don't, let me school you a little bit. Everyone has that feel, that want to fit in. Majority of people want to fit in. If you agree with me, and if you're still with me, drop some ones in the chat. You guys still with me? Everyone has a tendency to want to fit in. And we're taught that from a young age. That's another part of your conditioning, to fit in. What do you want to be when you grow up? A doctor, a lawyer, a police officer. we are conditioned to believe that those are the things we should be doing. If you were to say when you were young, I want to be a millionaire. I want to make money from my phone. Like back then, or even now, that might be something that sounds so illogical to outsiders that they are going to turn that down for you. If a child went to a teacher, in most cases, and the teacher asked them, what do you want to do when you get older? What do you want to be? And they just said, I want to make money on YouTube, or I want to be a day trader, or like something that isn't typical. Okay. How fast do you think a teacher or an outsider would say, that sounds great, but maybe you should be a little bit more realistic? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Maybe you should tone it down a little bit. Think about something that you can plan. If we want to have the things that most people don't have, we have to do the things that most people don't do, right? We can have, do, or be anything we want in this life. If we don't allow ourselves to fall victim to conditioning and environment. And I agree with Bob. These are the main, there probably are others. But these are the main two barriers to success in whatever capacity that might be for you. Success is not the same thing for everybody. But it does come down to getting to know yourself. Because if you don't understand who you truly are and what it is, that you truly want in life, and not on a surface level, this takes discipline and time and willpower to be able to really sit with yourself and not fall victim to what everyone else thinks should or should not be done. Most people are taught, go to school, go to college, get a job that has benefits, so you have security. It's like a domino effect, and everyone follows suit because that's what we're supposed to do. But who says that that is the only way? Why do we think that 95% of the world is unhappy, unfulfilled, not making the money that they want to make, and 5% of the population does? Because that 5% of the population is doing everything that the 95% are not. See, you have to do things that the masses are not. Study the masses, write this down. Study the masses and then go against them. Study the masses and then do everything that they are not doing. If every single person in the world on a Wednesday night, and I don't know if this is the time that it goes on, if almost every single person in the world at 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday nights is watching the Kardashians, and I keep using them as an example just because I don't know. And they're watching and they're thinking to themselves, because trust me, I've watched them and I think this to myself, oh, why? Why did they have that? Why can't I have that? How did they have such a perfect body and I don't? How do I get that? Blah, blah, blah. if majority of people are doing that, and you all, kudos to you, are sitting on a Zoom call at 9 p.m. on a Wednesday night. Some of you have work in the morning. Some of you might be at work right now. And you're choosing to advance yourself in a way that majority of people are not. They're sitting watching TV or doing whatever it is that they're doing. But you're deciding to sit on a call to help yourself grow. Do you think you have an advantage over those other people? I do. You have to do the things that most people aren't doing in order to get the things that you desire. Plain and simple. Do you think that Donald Trump is a multi-millionaire because he did the same things that everyone else did? Obviously not. Obviously not. And so many people think that all the things he does are so illogical, and this isn't a political thing, so we're not going to get into it. I'm using him as an example because we're talking about barriers to success. So many people think that his way of thinking, his philosophy is illogical. But guess what? Sometimes illogical thinking gets you the things that you want that most people don't have. Because how many people think logically and they're struggling, or they just have the same things as everyone else? They drive the same basic cars that everyone else does. Sometimes thinking illogically will get you the things that you want. So there's two barriers to success, the main two at least: conditioning and environment. And if you guys are just hopping on, you guys can go watch the YouTube, follow my YouTube channel, Trade House Queens, because I know a lot of people are hopping on late, and this is a really good topic tonight. I'm really excited that we did this, and I have a slideshow up here. So if you go watch the YouTube, you'll be able to see it. Most people don't live the way that they want to. So how do we fix this? Let me move this. Oh, Shayna, what are you even looking at? God. So we are programmed, now I'm going to elaborate, to live from the outside in, right? Conditioning, environment. What do we use to interact with the outside world? What do we as human beings utilize to interact with the outside world? Our sensory factors, our sense of smell, seeing, hearing, touching, tasting. I'm not going to keep doing this with you. This is how we interact with the outside world. You could smell something, you can touch something, you can taste something. This is how you interact with the outside world, right? We are programmed, conditioned to live that way. But that is utilizing our, come here then. That is utilizing our environment to give us the answers. The answers are not external. If majority of our being is non-physical, then most of the answers are within us. And I know this is a little maybe advanced for a lot of us on here tonight, but go watch some of my prior videos. I do have more basic calls, but the more you listen to this, and if you, again, repetition is key. If you go and rewatch my videos, if you go and rewatch this presentation, if you go and rewatch the same thing over and over and over again, that is how you learn. That is how you understand. Okay. Understanding is one of the most powerful things that you can have, is an understanding of something. Most people think they know things, right? Like, how many people do you know that think they know things? But if you really dig, do they understand? Do they actually understand these things? Most people do not. Most people do not. So yes, we are programmed. Everyone is. Everyone is programmed to live from the outside in. But we need to learn how to live from the inside out in order to get the results that we want. Your results are yours. Let me repeat that. Your results are yours. So if you want to change your results, you have to change you. If you want to change your results, you have to change you, because your results are yours. So how do we do that? By doing things that majority are not. Majority of people are living from the outside in. So what do we have to do to crash through those barriers, to gain the success that we want, to gain the life that we want, to feel happy, to feel fulfilled? We have to start living from the outside in, from the inside out. And this is just a great quote. And Bob actually says it in that video, which is really weird. This is an old presentation that I have created here for you guys tonight. But Bob says it in the video that I'll post the link to in my Telegram. And I think it has a lot to do with what I was just saying too. Like, people think they know things, but having an understanding of things is much, much, much different. And when you start to truly understand who it is that you are and what it is that you want, it's going to be easier for you to get there. So Napoleon Hill said, an educated man is not necessarily one who has an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. Now, you could take that from, think about someone who goes to college, opposed to someone who maybe just learned from life, from circumstance. Okay. An educated man is not necessarily one who has an abundance of general or specialized knowledge. He means just because you studied being a doctor does not mean that you are educated. An educated man is one who has so developed the faculties of his mind that he may acquire anything he wants or its equivalent without violating the rights of others. So being educated does not mean that you are an expert in a field. It means that you have an understanding of more than the physical, and you are then able to get the things that you want without hurting other people or violating the rights of other people. This is from Think and Grow Rich. So if you have not read that book, please, please, please go read that book or listen to it. Listen to the audio. I'm telling you, Think and Grow Rich is a book that will change your life. Bob Proctor, till the day that he died, read Think and Grow Rich every single day. Now, I don't think he read the entirety of the book every single day, but he read excerpts of it every single day. And if you don't know who Bob Proctor is, go check him out. That is where I learned almost everything that I know. Okay. So mental faculties. He speaks about an educated man having an abundance of understanding of their mental faculties. So I just spoke to you about how we interact with the world typically, how we're taught to interact with the world through our sensory factors, smell, see, taste, touch, whatever. But we have, I like to call them spiritual senses or your non-physical senses, okay? Whatever it is you want to call them, that's what they are. Now, this is a way to interact with the world in a non-physical way. Okay. So one, memory. I hope you guys are writing this down. Memory is 1. Reason is 2. Perception is 3. Imagination is 4. Yay, Shauna. Woo. 5, willpower. And 6, intuition. So let's start off with memory. I'm going to try to run through these because it's 9:45. Memory is developed through association. Anyone can develop a strong memory. There's so many times where I catch myself, and being aware is everything because I'm not perfect. I talk to you guys about the things that I learn every single day, but I am still working on it. Okay. We are all working on it. So don't feel bad if, you catch yourself saying something and you're like, oh shit. Because I do it all the time. But being aware of it is going to allow yourself to be able to change it. Because I'll catch myself saying all the time, I have such a bad memory. I can't even remember like what. And then I'm like, no, I don't. I have a perfect memory. I'm growing. It's getting stronger. Anyone can develop a strong memory. Okay. There's no such thing as a bad memory, only weak or strong. And memory is one of the most important mental faculties that we have. Next, reason. Reason gives us the ability to think. Okay. It's actually the highest function that we are capable of is reasoning. Some people don't understand how to reason. Okay. And again, I'll do another call where we go in depth on these. I want to kind of run through them because there's a few other things I really wanted to talk about, who we are and the success factor to that. Reason gives us the ability to think. It's the highest function that we're capable of. And Bob says this, and I think it's a really interesting thing to get your mind kind of going. Mental capacity does not constitute thinking. If you were to listen to almost majority of people in your life speak, you would know that they are not thinking before they speak. How many times have you been in a conversation with someone, particularly an argumentative conversation, and you said something by reacting to something that was said to you or reacting to a situation or circumstance that was directed towards you, and you reacted by saying something and then later regretted it? I have all the time. And you're lying if you say you haven't. Because mental capacity does not constitute thinking. Most people do not think before they speak. Just because your waves in your brain are going and you have brain function, that doesn't mean you're thinking. Right? So that's reason. That's something we could talk about another time. So what do we want? What we don't want, actually. My bad. I haven't done this presentation in a while, so I'm kind of just like going on. What we don't want, but what the majority of people do, is start by using their present results as the what's the word I'm looking for? As the as their guide, which then causes the thoughts they think your present results. So if your present results are not what you want, this causes you to think about what you don't want. Are you with me? You guys with me? If your present results are something that you do not want, they're going to cause thoughts about what you don't want. It's pretty simple. Which then causes you to feel a certain way, which is going to typically be negative. If you're not happy with the results you're getting, you're then going to think about all the things you don't have, that you don't want, all the things that you lack, which is then going to cause you to feel depressed, which is then going to cause an action to continue in that cycle. It's a domino effect, correct? That's not what we want. Thoughts and ideas cause or create feelings, okay? So the feelings then cause the actions which produce results. So if you don't like your results, you have to focus on new thoughts and ideas, positive thoughts and ideas, which will then put you in a feeling of momentum, of positivity, which will then cause a reaction, an action. It'll cause your vibration to move in a different way, putting you on a different frequency, producing new results. Does that make sense? Thoughts and ideas create feelings. Feelings cause actions. Actions produce results. Okay, so the spiritual side to success, and I like saying it like that, I love it, spiritual side to success, because that's really what it is. 95% of it is mindset, and 5% is strategy. Your thoughts and ideas are your mindset. Your feelings, how you feel, that's still part of your mindset. And then your actions, and your actions produce your results. You have to have a little bit of strategy in there. Responding and reacting. You are in control of the outside world. The outside world does not control you. It can, if you allow it to. You want to start responding instead of reacting. When you respond, you are in control of the outside world and what happens in your life and the results that you receive. When you react, the outside world controls you. So take a look at your current results and build an image in your mind of what it is that you want. This is part of your imagination faculty. Our imagination is one of the most incredible things that we've been blessed with from whoever or whatever it is that created us. Imagination is one of the most incredible things that we were gifted, because you have the ability to create an image in your mind of anything that you want. It could sound totally illogical and crazy, but anything that you can build in your mind, you can hold in your hand. So build the image of what it is that you want, and then your thoughts, the image in your mind, will create feelings, put you into that momentum, which will then cause action. You'll start to strategize in a different way. And that's what manifesting is. That's how you manifest new results. All right, perception. What is perception? Perception is our point of view. Everything has an opposite. So your perception of something opposed to my perception of something can be totally, totally different, right? Like everyone has a different way of looking at things. So nobody is wrong. No one is ever, ever wrong. So when you're in those argumentative conversations with your loved one, maybe, or your sibling or whoever it is, try to step back. Try to step back and instead of react, respond and try to understand that they have a different perception of the world than you do. Everyone does. Change your perception, change your point of view. Okay, again, imagination. I'm going to start to fly through these because we have a lot more to talk about and it's a little late. Imagination is one of the most powerful things the world has ever seen. Being able to utilize a non-physical entity to create an image that could potentially become reality, that sounds like magic. It sounds like magic. The fact that you can imagine something in your mind and then manifest it into reality, that sounds like magic. But that is what goes on. Every single thing was first imagined before it was created physically. Like the chair I'm sitting on. Somebody didn't just one day just put some wood or whatever together and start building. Like there was a thought process behind that. There was an image of, like architecture. It's not just, hey, Brian. Architects, they didn't just start whipping out the works and doing it. They drew it out. They thought it. They saw a picture in their mind of what it is that they wanted, and then they built it. Okay? Everything is built twice. Once in the mind, and second, it's manifested into a physical form. So anything you hold in your mind, you can hold in your hand. If you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand with willpower, with discipline, with all of these faculties together. Okay? Willpower. Yes, Shauna. Will. What is willpower? Willpower gives us the ability to focus and concentrate on something. So a way to practice your willpower would be a meditation. Because when it comes to meditation, you literally are attempting to not be distracted. You're attempting to be with yourself. So when you practice meditation, you are practicing your ability to focus and concentrate on something without distraction. Love you, Brian. Oh my God, that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. That is so freaking dope. Yeah. If you need more, just let me know. You guys know I'm like a gym freak and a health freak. So I got any of you who need some tips. That makes me so happy. Yay. But your willpower gives you the ability to focus. If Bryant didn't have willpower, he would have never lost those 40 pounds because he was able to focus and concentrate on something without distraction to get to the goal that he desired. Perfect example, perfect timing. Thank you. There you go. Sometimes and for those of you on Zoom, he has 2 trainers. Sometimes it takes mentorship. Sometimes it takes vulnerability and allowing someone to help you to gain the willpower to do what it is that you need to do. You have to believe in it. And we talked about belief last week. Your intuitive factor. How many of you have ever had a gut feeling about something? Like just had this feeling about something and no matter what, like it just wouldn't go away. And then that thing happened to come to life. Our intuitive factor is something so special. And I think that most of us overlook our intuition. Oh my God, you're too funny. I can't. Most of us overlook our intuition. And how many of you have had a gut feeling and you're like, and then you go like a different path, and then you go down that path and you're like, oh, I should have listened to my gut. Even if it's something so stupid, like ordering a meal. Like you first look at the menu and you see something you really want and you're like, ooh, that looks really good. And then you ask the waiter, like, what do you think is good? And then you're like, you know what? I'll go with your thing. And then you don't really like it. And you're like, I should have just went with my gut. Or like your boyfriend orders the thing you wanted and you go with the waiter's suggestion because whatever. And then you're like liking his meal better. Go with your gut. Your intuitive factor is you picking up on other people's vibrations. Everything is vibration. Okay. So your intuitive factor is you picking up on other people's vibrations. And I love this quote. Write this down. I'll repeat it twice. When we pray to God, we are speaking to him, right? Or, source, whatever you want to call it. But when we use our intuitive factor, that's God speaking to us. I'll repeat that. When we pray to God or when we're talking to source, that is us speaking to them, right? But when we use our intuitive factor, when we really focus in on listening to ourself, that is God or source speaking to you. So trust that. Trust that. Trust that little voice in your head. Right? Because a lot of us overthink it, overlook it. And most of the time, the answer is right in front of us, but we overlook it because we think we're conditioned to not believe in ourselves. Believe in yourself. These are what are going to, like, not mastering this, because you can't master. I don't believe you can master anything. I believe that we're always learning and we're always growing and expanding. But these, educating yourself and gaining an understanding of all of these things is what will bring you past the barriers of success, is what's going to bring you to what it is that you desire and what it is that you truly, truly want in this life, right? So we have to learn to live from the inside out. We have to learn to live from the inside out. Instead of just using your physical senses, like your sense of smell, taste, touch, seeing, hearing, start to use your mental muscles. Start to listen to yourself, to your body, your mind, perception, will, reason, imagination, memory, intuition. This is going to put you in a different vibration and raise your frequency. Raise your vibration and put you on a higher frequency. When you're on a higher frequency, you're going to start to attract things on that frequency. If you're on a negative vibration, you're only going to attract that of which is on that frequency. You have to raise your vibration to get on a higher frequency to attract the things on that frequency. If you want more, you have to raise your vibration. Listen to yourself. You can control the outside world. The outside world does not control you. So these tools that I taught you tonight is going to allow you to be more creative and give you the results that you truly, truly want. and it'll help you to get past that terror barrier. Okay. It'll allow you to get past those barriers to success and allow you to start gaining an understanding of who you truly are and what it is that you truly want so that you can gain the things that you want. Right. So I'm a little past 10 o'clock. I am going to end the call unless you guys want to do a meditation. Are you guys down for a meditation? Do we want to do a meditation? Because it's past 10. I know I like went off on this call. This was an amazing, amazing, amazing call. I guess I'll do the meditation. If you guys want to stick around for it, you can, or you don't have to, or you can come back to it. All right, perfect. Love it. So as you guys know, how I do the meditation, I'm going to start doing my own. I used to do them. I love you guys. I used to do my own, like I would walk you through a meditation. I'm going to start to do that again because I'm really feeling it lately. But typically I just go on YouTube and I pick the first meditation that comes up, and I swear like every time it has something to do with what we're talking about. Okay, guided. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, so I want everyone to just get into a comfortable position. If you are driving, please don't attempt. Always, I haven't taken it off. Please don't attempt this if you're driving. Get yourself in a comfortable position. You can either lay down, you can sit down, start to, calm down, take a couple of deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Lower that heart rate. Start to relax all your muscles. Just kind of get into a chill vibe, maybe light a candle, whatever gets you in the mood. Attempt to utilize your willpower and not get distracted. This is a 10-minute meditation, and I'm going to let it rock. So here we go. Hope you guys are ready. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome. My name's Manoj. I'm a meditation teacher and co-founder of Open. And welcome to today's meditation practice. What we're actually going to do is we're trying to generate feelings of kindness, acceptance, warmth, and tenderness for ourselves. And this is a very ancient practice, the 2,500-year-old practice, often referred to as metta meditation. So I'll invite you to settle into a comfortable position. You can lay down if you wish, if that's most comfortable for you. You can even do this standing up if that feels good. But I love to do this seated. And as you sit, you may wish to lengthen your spine so it's upright and alert without being rigid or forced. You can place both your palms down on top of your thighs, or you can place them on top of each other. And when you're ready, let's take a deep breath in together, in through the nose, out through the mouth, breathing in deeply. And then as you open your mouth, relax your shoulders. Begin to just settle into your meditation today. You don't have to control your breathing. You don't have to force your mind to be quiet. Just take a moment as you settle into your practice to just notice that you have a body. This awareness of our body can allow us to feel more present with it. Notice any sounds that are around you. You don't have to wonder what they are or why they're here. Just notice that sounds come and go. And begin to notice your heart. Take a moment to remember that you have a heart. And that heart is breathing. And that heart is feeling. As you keep your awareness here, I'm going to invite you to begin to visualize an image of yourself. You can visualize yourself as you are right now. Or if it's helpful, visualize yourself as a child. As you visualize yourself, mentally repeat these phrases. May I be happy. As you repeat that phrase in your mind, see if you can bring to mind a time when you were happy. It's not important who was there or what happened. But really recollect the feeling of being happy. And then mentally keep repeating that phrase. May I be happy. And then repeat the phrase, may I be safe. And as you mentally repeat this phrase, remember a time when you felt safe. And again, the occasion or the people that were around you aren't as important as the feeling of safety. May I be safe. As you repeat this phrase, notice how it feels in your body. The intention, creating the feeling. And offer yourself the phrase, may I be healthy. And this is your heartfelt wish to be healthy in the mind and healthy in the body. And you can bring to mind a time when you felt that way. And then repeat the phrase, may I live with ease. And remember a time when you lived with ease. Notice how this feels in your body. As you systematically, mentally repeat these phrases, notice what is being felt in your body. And often this feeling that we are feeling is called metta, loving kindness. It's an acceptance, it's a warm-heartedness, and it's a tenderness for ourselves. See if you can sink into that feeling just for a few more moments. And when you're ready, you can let go of this technique and just notice how your body feels. Perhaps make an intention to take with you into the rest of your day the same quality of metta, of loving kindness for ourselves. When you're ready, you can very gently begin to open your eyes. Thank you for joining me today. I'll see you again next time.
You guys can open your eyes, wiggle your fingers, your toes, start to come back to your physical, come back to your body. That was an amazing meditation. I'm so glad that we did it. And it's so funny, nothing's a coincidence, that he was speaking about being with yourself, right? And metta, like love, and, just holding on to, like, understanding that, like, you have a physical body and to kind of let go. And we were kind of discussing that. So I'm going to drop all the links, the videos I played in the beginning, the meditation that we did tonight, in my Telegram channel. So if you guys are interested, you can go follow my Telegram channel. There's actually a link in my bio on Instagram, so you guys can go check it out. Let me just stop sharing for a second. Beautiful. But again, I want to thank every single one of you for joining us again on another Woke Wednesday. I'm so grateful for every single one of you for sticking with me. It's been a long journey so far. We've been doing Woke Wednesday for over a year. It's been like 2 years already. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I just want everyone to know that I wouldn't be here without you guys. So you guys keep me going. I'm super grateful for you all.